My beloved family of roses, when there is not enough love, families break apart. Families lose that seamless magnetic bond that is always stronger than any differences between members of a family. When a family is held together by love, where some members even detect there is a greater love that they themselves can even express. Those are the families that stay together, that must stay together. My beloved family, I ask you, do you feel your capacity to love, your capacity to receive love, your capacity to generate love amongst each other and hold this beautiful spiritual family so strong that one day the great God flames of each of you will leap from your heart and stand in the throne room of Mother, Father, God and declare yourself as one mighty family of the greatest of all that is the Mother's presence, love. I feel so too. I feel so too. I watch it. Please make yourself comfortable. I thank the director for opening conclave and for using his authority in approving what has never been created before for a student body upon this earth. A student body embracing their spirituality. A student body whose spiritual lives have been drawn to the most challenging path of all paths. The Master Jesus spoke of this path, made reference of this path. And only those that would find his path of resurrection with the wave of his right hand open the way for them to enter into the kingdom of God. That each of you are beginning to experience in your divine meditations the practitioner's treatment. And as the Master Jesus also once said, those who will not know me, those who will not feed me when I am hungry, those who will not offer me drink when I am thirsty, and those who will not visit me when I am sick. I say to those, I reserve not a kingdom for you. Rather, I say to you, depart from me. And those ones shall rise, and they shall say, but Master, when did I deny you food? When did I deny you drink when you were thirsty? I did not even know you became ill to come and sit with you. And the Master said to them, as much as you have done this to the least, you have done it to me. And thus, the path of resurrection, of all spiritual paths that are upon this world, all loved, all honored, for eventually, ultimately, one day they do lead to the same place. But for those adventurous souls who have covenanted with themselves and determined enough is enough, we've waited too long. And we must break ourselves free. Of lives of crucifixion, in which by an act of glory and grace, again and again and again, we are given life in a body. And then again and again we fall prey to the evil tree of knowledge of good and evil and all its duality imprints once again upon our consciousness and unfolds once again upon our life. And 60, 70, 80 years later, this disintegration takes place. The life that we lived was not raised, not honored, not resurrected. It was crucified. And so, what you do not remember is that Jesus spoke into your heart a number of years ago to this student body. And Jesus said at that time, I know that you have lost faith in my church. And yet you search to find a way to love me outside of the church. And the Master Jesus said, it's right here in your heart. You don't need a building. You can invite me into your heart to have church with you. And I'll come there. And I'll have church with you. And the Master Jesus placed in your heart a number of covenants, a number of secret messages. And I say secret messages because the sensitivity of your being is not yet so raised that you have come across some of those gifts, some of those messages that he left there for you. And one of those messages that he left in your heart was a message that you have similarly said to this world. Enough is enough. In the glory of Jesus' life, when it became manifest in the Garden of Gethsemane, the 33rd passage of resurrection complete, the Christ emerged. And to satisfy the people of earth. Not Jesus the man, although Jesus the man was the instrument. The Christ was crucified. And in this lifetime, in this embodiment, Jesus has left a message in each of your heart, and it's time to hear that message so that we can really go forth with all the wonderful next activities in your life. And that message is very close to one that you have declared in many of your lives. Enough is enough. And that's what Jesus is saying. He left this message in your heart. Enough. Yes, you have died for me. Yes, the Christ was crucified. And yes, you have crucified hundreds of lives that you have lived. Step off the cross. Find me. I am the resurrection. And if you find me, I will open a door for you. And that door is the path of resurrection. It comes with studies, it comes with application, it comes with unique meditations, yet it comes with a family. All that walk this path before you in future, in forgive me, in past generations and centuries, 95% of the 10 or 12 people that found this path left their homes, trekked to India, up through Nepal and Tibet and into the Himalayas. Of those 8 to 10 people every 100 years that discovered the real inner meaning of Jesus' life, 95% of them failed. It's a difficult path. But once you find your family, people that you have loved in other lifetimes, there is a great respect, there is a growing dignity upon the student body, an expanding love. And amongst you, there are those that you have loved, and rightfully so, a little more in this life, because they've been your family. They've been your best. They've been your lover. They've been your sister and brother. And so naturally you might love them a little more. But here is the greater truth. By what power can you be drawn? The messenger did not see what was coming. I could not even tell him what was coming. He would have ran the other direction. But what power draws such a beautiful family together? And you're only part of them. You're only a smaller part of the family that can make it out to conclave. It is that power of love in which each of you can take a moment now and look around and look at each other and realize that some of the eyes that you're drawn to, that could have been your mother in another lifetime, your sister or your brother or your father or your lover. You have been together. You have been in families, re-embodying in families. And with an activity, that activity that is not fractured by the outer life. Enough love that will hold you together. Enough love that you could look each other straight in the eye and say, you have loved me so much. I must go now. And a few centuries from now, I'll show up in your life. I won't be your lover, I won't be your mother, I might be your father, I might be your brother. But love will be there, and it will be strong enough. And you have demonstrated a respect for each other, a willingness to grow greater love, and even a willingness to surprise yourself. How much you could receive love, how much you could generate love. And there have been times when you have become very emotional in that, and in that state of emotion, very weepy, the tears just come. What is it? Why? Because that growing love and the weepiness and the tears, they demonstrate something else. That you have been truly missing something for thousands, nay, millions of years. And you have missed it so much that those who would come to love you in this life, there have been times where they have had to leave you to make room for you to come to realize there is one who has loved you greater. And thus, when this messenger's mother became pregnant with what would be her 7th child, I came to her many times in her dreams, in her restful states, and I said to her, I will provide you the reason in the outer world, yet the outer world will never really know the reason why you left. And I said to her, you must leave within 2 weeks of your boy child being born. You must leave. And you must give my spirit the magnetism of my love to grow in him that no person can give to him. I, Akasha. And in the same way, I've been calling to you through centuries of embodiment. Each has their own unique time. Each has that time. It may be in this embodiment. It may have been in 10 embodiments ago, where someone says, and sometimes they don't even say, but that person knows, I must go. For I must create that space for someone who loves you more to come forth and fulfill God in you. That is the mother's presence, beloved hearts. Welcome to Conclave. In the autumn and into the winter, the Lord Maitreya set a number of challenges upon me. And that was a challenge: would this student body be willing to heal themselves? Would they be willing to face the hurts, the sufferings, the losses? Would they be able to pick themselves up? Place much of that in the sacred fire of love, mercy, and forgiveness, and rise up, for their future calls them. Jesus calls them. Their own life calls them. And there is not too much time left to dally around concepts of healing. I said to the Lord Maitreya, I accept your challenge. And I have found a way to guarantee that your complete healing takes place. Thank you. When I presented the idea, and it didn't happen until after I had traveled to Venus and had a number of audiences with the great Empress of Venus, the goddess of Venus, discussing many things. And it was the goddess of Venus who said to me, Mother Akasha, I know what is in your heart. Follow me. And she took me to a secret and sacred place. We traveled deep inside the planet Venus. It felt like we almost were descending to the very core. And stepping into what felt like the very core of Venus, I saw the most magnificent chamber. And if you look at the front cover of your programs now, and you see that beautiful pink chamber, that's kind of what I saw. At this point, there was no more speaking between the great Empress of Venus and myself. We were at that point. I needed to know, she needed to share, and this had to happen so quietly that we entered into our telepathic quiet communication with each other so she could explain this, what it was, what a magnificent healing chamber that she and the Kumaras had created long ago, millions of years ago in Venus, to heal the entire race of her people. And she said to me, we can create a prototype of this. And if you get the authority of the director, we can do something that's never been done before. We can make sure that it's made up of the mighty forces of the electron, the electronic forces, the magnetic forces. We can draw into its core a fiery God center of flames from the physical sun so that it has something from your world, system of worlds, our system of worlds. And long story short, the approval from the director has come. And in these months that have passed, when I've talked about healing and the challenges of healing and the possibility of a healing chamber, and then announcing that we were going to do it, we've created thousands of these healing chambers. Thousands of them. The healing chamber will evolve and grow like you evolve and grow. Once it is fastened and anchored around you, it will have lots of additions. Just think of the space station in the atmosphere, upper atmosphere. And how as that space station was placed there, then ships were sent up to add many other rooms and many other things, and the space station today is many times greater and many more activities than when it was first went up. Yes? And so it is with this. The magnetic force fields that will be out at the outer edges of your electronic circle. That's that pink force field you see around the chamber. Everything is ready. Now what's going to happen, precious hearts, is the chamber's been created. But we've got to make sure it fits. We've got some adjustments to make to it. So it's going to be anchored tonight, and then it's going to be raised again, some adjustments. It's like going to the tailor and getting your new suit adjusted and trying it out, and it's not quite right. You can't leave with it. And this is going to happen throughout this weekend, where we're going to we're going to cause the chamber to descend around each of you for a few moments. All your Ascended Master guests who are with us this weekend all participated in creating it. Although the major forces in terms of the electronic rays were provided by Master Jesus in the Great Central Sun, the magnetic rays provided myself, and this must have a core, because it must come alive, independent of you, aligned with you, and then become what you desire it to be in the future. It will never leave you, but it will be anchored, adjustments will be made, then it will be raised. This probably will happen 28 times throughout the course of this weekend. By the time the conclave closes and we are ready for the final fitting and to put it into place, at that point, I will assist you to inhale. Just as you inhale the golden column, the life force is shown in the chart. You inhale the life force down from your presence into the top of your head. Your presence will project another electronic ray down that column. And once the chamber is around you, it will come right through you, that ray of light, and it will come right through the chamber, descending through, passing through the base of the chamber, and entering down into the core of your planet. The core of your planet is a fiery center. From above you, that chamber will be continuously fed by your own great God presence. Ascended Masters, great cosmic beings who come this weekend will place gifts. While each Master is speaking, the chamber will be downloaded around you. It's going to be adjusted. It has to be a perfect fit for each of you. It's elastic in its ability. It's alive. It breathes out. It breathes in. It can expand. Once you're a resurrected master, you can transform your healing chamber into a starship, if you wish. There is no limitation in this. Now I require your assistance. It is time to get fitted. Precious hearts, I ask you to stand, and I ask you to move out in the room. Some can stay in the rows, some can come in the aisles, some can come up front, some can go in the back. What's the idea? The idea is that you can stretch your arms out in a full circle and not touch another person's garment. So that's what you wish. You've got a huge empty space back there in the back of the ballroom. You've got lots of space. So it's very, very important, precious hearts, that your fingertips are not going to brush up against another person. So be very careful. There's lots of room in the back, so please breathe some space in. Okay, while you're all finding a perfect space, I will inform you, and I have instructions here, because these things are not familiar in my world. I am told that the back of the ballroom is east. I am told that the doors are south. I am told that the stage up here is west. I am told that the windows there is north. Yes?
Yes.
All right. So this is only going to be a practice. Do you remember when Mahara asked you to make what did you call it, dear? A quarter turn? Right. So we have to start with the east, and that's that way. Okay. So I would like you all to face the windows. Because I must start it with a quarter turn. All right. So now relax your arms. Relax your arms down. That means lower your arms. And so when I say raise your arms, raise your arms. I won't be having you holding your arms for a long time. Only needs to be about 4 to 6 seconds. I'll be saying raise your arms, raise your arms. Hold. And then I'll say, relax your arms, bring them down. And then we're going to take the next turn. So let's just do a practice before I let them know we are ready. So we're all facing the windows. That's north. So for those in the recording, because students are going to do this in their homes as well, we are all facing north. Now, do not raise your arms until I ask you to. Take 1/4 turn to the right, facing east. That's the back of the ballroom. Just be still. Raise your arms, full outreach as best you can. Hold. Relax. 1/4 turn to the right, facing south. That's the ballroom doors. Raise your arms. Relax and hold. Relax. 1/4 turn again to the right, facing west. That's the front of the stage. Raise your arms. Hold. Relax. And one more time, 1/4 turn to the right. You are now facing north. Raise your arms. Hold. Relax. All right, precious hearts. So we're going to do this officially in a moment. And all that I have sought to teach you, I've sought to encourage you to love the invisible. Some of you, your field of sensitivity is so attuned to the finer energies that you might tonight and throughout the weekend, you might feel currents of air moving around you. Now, if that happens, don't try to follow. If suddenly you sense a current of air moving to the right, please don't try to follow that current, that stream of air, that sudden wind that was there. I do not wish you to have vertigo. I wish you just to be fully grounded. If you become aware of air current moving around, this is the chamber. They're going to be uploading it and downloading it all throughout this weekend, working on it. They're fine-tuning it, not only for your multi-body system, they're fine-tuning it for the atmosphere around you. Once it's fully situated permanently around you, as you look at the chart and you see the individual in the chart, so the individual, the sacred fire, the tube of light, Michael's blue flames outside of the tube of light, all of that will fit perfectly in the chamber. Now, as you know, beyond this area is the electronic circle. The electronic circle extends 28 feet. So, again, when you look at the field of radiation, that circle of that's a magnetic field that's around the chamber, yes, that is inside the inner wall of your larger electronic circle. It's going to be doing many things. It's going to be repelling the energies of the outer world. It's going to be holding inside everything that chamber wishes to project. I've got lots to teach to you, and many of the masters are going to come and teach. We're going to explain more of this, but it's time for the first fitting of your beloved resurrection healing chamber. Are you ready? It's very interesting how life will compel you to have that remarkable faith in loving what you cannot see. And Jesus will measure. He will say to you, how can you love God that you cannot see when you do not yet love others that God puts in front of you?